C4 Corvette door panel before and after. Today I get to change the door panel on the 1985 C4 Corvette. From this dingy, terrible, ugly thing woo, look at that. Isn't that nice? One of the first things I like to do is I save the plastic off the other one and cut it in the shape of the original. Oh, that's not right. I cut it in the shape of the original plastic that used to go on the door. But the plastic on the door is always degraded and it breaks apart into pieces. See it just falling off of there? There's nothing left of that original vapor barrier. So made a new one out of the plastic that the door panels come in. It's a nice thick clear plastic, just like the used to be right there on the door, except it's a little more clear than the original plastic, which makes it easier to deal with when hooking up all the accessories. There, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Now, I'm going to swap over these pieces from the old door panel, including, look, it even came with a nice black carpet. So I've got extra pieces of black carpet over there left over from the carpet set that I bought. And if you haven't seen that video, you should watch that. You can see how to install the carpet in a C4 Corvette. And if you keep watching during the video till the end, I'll show you the other vehicles that we have. We're going to be doing a lot of repairs on after I get done with the C4, all the repairs on the C4 Corvette. Give you kind of an idea of what repair videos are coming up next. And right here, all I did was pinch those right there and pulled that right out. And it goes, make sure you got the car standing upright. So here's how it's supposed to work. With the open at the top and the hatch at the bottom and the little car standing straight up. You got these two tanks right here. And you work it down. Try to keep your fingers in the middle of the switch so that you're not breaking the corners off. And work it down into the hole. It's going to be tight. There it goes. It's in there. What? It went my shoe. My sandal. Isn't that something? How does that happen? There it is. The sandal nut. When going back with the other one, you got to be real careful with these because you can over tighten them and break stuff. Like that one came off with the stud and everything. Get a pair of pliers to hold that. Got one more. There. And now before I go trying to pull that off, there should be a couple of little screws and a tiny vent. Here is, right there. This tiny vent should be directing airflow to the window glass, the door window glass, to defrost the door window. Now, because this stud broke off, and this is the piece we're actually going to reuse, I need to clean this up and get this stud off of here and glue it back on and leave that sit before we attempt to put it on the new door panel. Also, set this aside for now. There's a couple other things we need off of here. pliers because we have speed nuts here. Need to come off. Well, that fell down in the duct. Ain't that something? Alright, speed nut. There's another one in the ductwork now. Get that to come out. There it went. Alright, so we've got those. And then there's 3 more speed nuts. They're going to be here, here, and over here. And we're finally done with this thing. Normally, if you're working on something inside the door, it's not necessary to take all this off. It can stay with the door, but when you're changing the actual door panel like I am, then yes, it has to come off. I had to take it in and clean it up first. I didn't want to put a nasty part on a brand new part. So we had the clips for the speed nuts off the other door panel. Need to go on here. 2 of them go back here. And 1 of them goes right here. Set that aside for a second. So I can see. I know on the other door panel, I had to get a drill bit and drill right here because the hole didn't line up perfectly. And yes, I have the same problem here. Dielectric grease for these connectors. There, there, there. There's a link in the description for everything I use, parts and tools. So if you want to get some dielectric grease and you don't know where to get it, you can get it through the link in my description, or you can just go to any parts store. Almost every parts store I've ever seen carries dielectric grease. It's that popular. Okay, now need to pull these wire connectors up through here so I can get to them. Back down. Got here. This one's gonna through that hole. This one's gonna go over here. Right. All right. So I'm gonna take this, set it up there. Hope y'all can see. I hope you can hear over the helicopter. Not long enough to reach over here. That one's not long enough to reach over here where y'all can see. This is the only one I can plug in while y'all can see. I'm going to have to tilt it up. Plug this one that looks like this, got 3 holes right here, plugs in right here at the bottom. This big fat plug right here is going to go right here that doesn't look like a connector at all on the front of the windshield wiper switch. And this one is going to go through this slit that I cut in the plastic into that connector right there in front of the handle. Put this up. Now, it's a little tricky getting this forward enough to go under the handle, and you gotta reach in here and grab the lock slide. Make sure it goes in the correct place. Jeez. I brought my pick over here. Maybe I can do it with this. Okay, I'm going to do what I did on the other side. That is pull this off. And just get the rod up in there. There we go. Get the slot, this into the slot. Rod is where it needs to be. Make sure this goes forward enough. Look up in there. These things get brittle and they're easy to break, so you gotta be careful with them. Gotta go back on there. These 3 smaller screws are the ones that I took out of this plastic piece right here. There we go. Alright, now I like to put this screw in the back here in first, so it'll pull that panel forward enough to where all these other screws will line up really well. Quite a few of them go in the bottom right here where this carpet is. And they've got little plastic clips that go into the fiberglass. And if you've got one of those plastic clips that's stripped out, you can buy a set of them. And you can replace 1 or 2 or all of them if you want to. To get in the way and really guide that screw to make it go into the clip. Now it looks like my plastic, I made it a little too long right here and it's sticking out. I'm going to get my pocket knife, and before I put these other screws in here, mix it up a bit. We got 1, 2 more screws And then have this piece, and the handle goes right here, which the people I ordered my black armrest from canceled my order. I was a little upset about that until I found another pair of black armrests from another supplier. So I'm gonna have to put those blue ones back on and then later put the black ones back on. But it ended up being about $50 cheaper for the other supplier for the same black armrest than the supplier that canceled my order. And I had to get a couple more screws because one of these screw heads was stripped out and the other screw was missing. Black & Decker having a light on it is a lifesaver, because when I'm over here in the corner working, I know y'all can't see, but I can't see either because I've got all these lights set up, and I get in the way of the cameras. I'm also in the way of the light, and it blocks the light, and everything's black and I can't see. And that one's the old blue one. And it's almost not blue anymore, it's almost black. And that's not necessarily a good thing because I scrubbed it with soap and water. And that's how nasty it still is after scrubbing it. So it'd be nice to have the new ones and get that off of there and replace it. Alright. Now that tall lip on that other part that goes in there, I face it towards the door panel. And I've heard that they have metal ones to replace these plastic ones. And I'm going to see if I can't get some of those, and when I replace these, when the black armrests come in, I'll try to get some of these metal, I don't know what they're called. but they go down in the handhold of the armrest, and I'll try to get some of them. And if I do, then I'll change them both out at the same time. I'll make a video and I'll put a link in the description to where I got them from. I'm using the screws that have the big wide heads on them down here. And I think the big wide-headed screws are there for two reasons: to give a nice footprint on this little plastic thing, and so that it holds better, because this is designed where you're supposed to be grabbing this and pulling the door. Every time you close it, you're pulling right here. So it needs some extra support right there. Alright, so if I get a chance to get a replacement piece for here, and I'm definitely getting these armrests, they're on the way, and I'll see if I can't get that new updated piece for there that's made out of metal instead of plastic, and then there'll be a whole nother video. In the meantime, we got more videos coming with the weather stripping going around the windshield, because Friday I'm taking it and having a new windshield put in. I've already scraped all this weather stripping that goes behind the new windshield, that goes down the pillar for the side glass and across the top where the Targa top goes on. And I've ordered a brand new Targa top, and I'm not going to say much about it now because it's a different company. It's supposed to be a better, lighter weight Targa top, and until I get it, I don't really know anything about it. I've never actually seen one before. So we'll see if it's all that they say it is. Oh, and I've got a brand new dash cover. If I haven't already put up the video where I rebuild the instrument cluster, then it'll be up soon. And just so many more Corvette videos. I can't even remember them all. I can't remember all the stuff I've done. And I've got more stuff to do. And then after this 85 C4 Corvette, we're going plumb to the other end of the spectrum with the C4s and do just about everything that we did on this one, and maybe even an engine rebuild on a 1996 C4 Corvette. So be looking forward to that. And I hope you'll be here with me watching those. Until then, remember, when things get tough, you're having a hard time, sometimes you got to step back, fall back and regroup, go do something else for a little while, work on it the next day so you got a chance to sleep on it, whatever. But just don't give up. Be a victor, not a victim.